And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Ooh, welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. We're on episode 56. We're talking about Amazon totally not being creepy. And we're talking Elvis Presley coming to the big screens once again, and so much more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man from San Fran. It's Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how are you doing, my friend?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here. What's good, Mike Fish? What's good, Syrup Squad? I hope everybody had a safe and happy 4th of July weekend. No one got drunk and drive. Drink all you want, but don't drive. I should have closed out with that the last episode, but we're having so much fun. Why bring it down?
Indeed. But yeah, how was your 4th of July, since we are totally recording this after the 4th of July and not recording this straight after we recorded episode 55?
Like most 4th of July is my man. I watched Independence Day, and then probably if I didn't watch Captain America: The First Avenger, we probably snuck in an Avengers double feature.
What was the Captain America, the fraudulent Captain America, where that was an Avengers movie. It was called Captain America: Civil War, but that was an Avengers movie. That wasn't a Captain America movie.
It's a Captain America movie. Yeah, if you and the rest of the YouTube community are gonna think they're as clever as you guys aren't, then it might as well just be Marvel Comics movie number 15. Wow. So if you want to break it down to that base root, it's Marvel Comics movie 15.
It's gonna be like that, is it? It's gonna be like that. But yeah,
it's gonna be like that.
It is July 6th. I am in England, obviously. To the untrained eye, it might still look like I'm in the apartment in New Jersey, but you'd be so wrong. I just have the exact same.
It's amazing how your accent just came back too.
I know, right?
I don't even recognize your voice.
I like to travel.
If I wasn't looking at your face right now, I'd be like, "Who is this imposter?"
All right, it's like it's kind of a whole new person. It's amazing. But yeah, I've been I've been drinking some tea, eating some crumpets, saying hello to the Queen. The standard things I do when I go back to England. It's very nice.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's be rude not to.
I know, right? It would be rude not to. So this week on the show, we are talking about the king. What is it? So Michael Jackson was the king of pop. He was the king of rock and roll, was he? Elvis? Oh, Elvis.
He was the king of rock and roll, so they say.
So yeah, he's got a new movie out. Well, obviously not him. He's R.I.P.Z. chilling out with Biggie, Tupac, and all that good stuff. But he's got
hell of a party.
We've got an Elvis themed show this evening, but we are starting off, or this afternoon, or this morning, depending on when you listen. We don't judge. But we start things off with Amazon Alexa hitting the headlines. I'm
worried about this, Mike Fish.
Over a week ago.
So we are an Amazon household. Alexa is right behind me, watching, judging, looking. Don't make eye contact. I love you, computer. I love you.
Robotic overlords, we respect you.
Oh, she's singing to me.
Oh, we're not picking it up though. What's she singing?
No, I love you.
I don't know. Wow. I don't know why I'm leaning in.
It's a track just came up by the artist Alexa under the album Greetings.
So it started playing.
That shit was serenading me.
Called "I Love You" by Alexa.
An original song. That's amazing.
Interesting. Well, try that at home, boys.
So the story has to be fraudulent already, Mike Fish, because why would Alexa do me dirty like this?
All right, she loves you. But no, Alexa getting creepier and creepier because the headline.
Are you talking about my woman like that, Mike?
The headlines reads: Amazon Alexa could soon mimic voices of dead relatives. This is how it begins, Kush. This is how it begins.
Yeah.
So Yes, Amazon Alexa might soon replicate voice of family members, even if they're dead. The capability unveiled at Amazon's Mars conference in Las Vegas is in development and would allow the virtual assistant to mimic the voice of a specific person based on a less, like that's a Jesus Christ, BBC, a specific person based on a less than a minute of provided recording. Terrible grammar.
Wow, really?
Okay. I know, terrible grammar. So Rohit Prasad, senior vice president and head scientist for Alexa, said at the event on Wednesday that the desire behind the feature was to build greater trust in the interactions users have with Alexa by putting more human attributes of empathy and affects. Like, if my dead grandmother started talking to me through the Alexa, that's not building trust. That's freaking me out. I'm burning that thing. Like, I guess I would have to.
You'd probably definitely want to. You just unplug it too. So I don't know how I necessarily feel about this. Obviously, they have to get the audio from somewhere, but in theory, the audio is already out there. Example. Coming closer, kids. Again, we're gonna let you know behind the scenes stuff here. So my real name, not Kush Hayes. What it is, you don't have to worry about. Don't worry about that, baby. Shh. But my Amazon account only has my real name. My mail goes there. The credit card is under that name. Like it's all under my birth name.
That makes sense.
However, there's so much audio out there right now of me going, "What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you." Blah 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 blah. That one day I just went, I had this device maybe 2 days, 3 days tops. I just went, "Hey Alexa, who do you think I am?" And it pauses for a second. ... And it goes, "Is this Kush?" And I went, "No fucking way, man." And I did not reply. Also, Amazon Prime. Again, everything is just my birth name. Birth name here, birthday name, but all my packages come under my birth name. One of the options to access Amazon Prime only has Kush. I didn't add that.
It's getting weird. But so now, for all the recordings that you've been doing, imagine, so like your friends and family, when you eventually do pass on, obviously in around about 60 to 70 years from now, because you're going to be a ripe old age. But now they can have Alexa like speak on your behalf at your funeral, and they can like, it'll be stuff. "What's good, Joe? It's Kush Hayes. Come here from his funeral.
From beyond the grave.
Don't steal my stash."
I might be into that. Having myself talk at my funeral. I might be into that, but
I'd want to do that as well, but not through. Like, but because what I'd want, I've always said this because I'm going to be cremated, right? I've already decided that because I think I think everyone should be cremated. If I was the president of this country, I would bring that into law. Everyone needs to be cremated because that's the only way we're going to stop the zombies. So, but before I get cremated, I'm going to be laying in my coffin, obviously. And then I'm going to have like a little video screen and I'm going to pre-record. Like, so as I'm going into the fire, there'll be a looping video of me like grabbing at the screen. To freak out. It'll be fun.
You're going to get a lot of negative tweets about that. They were like, "Read the room like fish."
I'll be dead.
You're going to get canceled. You're going to get canceled.
Fuck.
That's your own
dust,
funeral.
Literally. But what makes it even creepier, this story, is that in the video that they were using to promote this new feature, is they had this young child. See, it's always creepy when you use kids in this kind of thing.
Yeah, well, don't use kids. Why are you using kids?
So this kid asks, "Alexa, can Grandma finish reading me The Wizard of the Oz?" And then Alexa acknowledges the request and switches to another voice, mimicking the child's grandmother. The voice assistant then continues to read the book in that same voice. That's gonna right. Again, I totally understand because it does say in the story where it says like these attributes have become even more important during the ongoing pandemic, when so many of us have lost loved ones. Whilst AI can't eliminate the pain of loss, it can definitely make their memories last. Like, to that point, I get it a little bit, because I know people who have, they've, say, for example, their mother's passed on and they've kept like an old voice message from them, when they've,
Sure.
and they, every now and again, they'll just like listen to it, like, oh, mommy, oh, like, that's nice. But when you bring kids into it, sure, that's going to be confusing, because already teaching children about death is a very awkward thing to begin with. But when you start confusing them by like, oh, is grandma now in the Alexa box? It's like, surely that's no bueno. That's gonna be that's gonna raise some fucked up kids.
It feels wrong. Or at least it doesn't feel right.
That right, it's okay. Yeah, so to create the feature, Prasad said the company had to learn how to make a higher quality voice with a shorter recording, opposed to hours of recording in the studio. Amazon did not provide further details about the feature, which is bound to spark more privacy concerns and ethical questions about the consent. Yes. Like, no, this is weird.
What's also going to be weird is like, what if it mimics your original personality? And if people like you, Mike Fish, then that's a good thing. But also, what if your personality just sucks? No one wants to deal with you dead and your shitty personality. Second point to that is, what if they don't adopt your old personality and they just give you a new personality? So like, like, imagine Kush Hayes on 10 all the time. Like, yeah, right now I'm performing, but like, what if I was doing this all the time? And like just going 100 miles a minute. What if people like that personality better than they liked me when I was alive?
I wonder if I could host a podcast with Alexa Kush. I wonder how that would work.
I bet you could. I bet you could do that right now, actually. I mean, it wouldn't be with me, but it would be with, I bet you could totally host a podcast with Alexa.
How would you, I mean, I guess you could like mic it up, but that'd be a good, interesting, what's the experiment? Interviewing Alexa for a podcast. But no, we don't like that.
I think that's going to be a microdose. That's going to be a microdose now. So, because there's
Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
You can just talk to an artificial intelligence through Alexa. What does that mean, Kush? That means when I got this device, this thing's always firing out suggestions. Try this, try buying that, watch this on Prime, watch this on Netflix, surprisingly. But then it's like, would you like, if you just want to talk to some AI, say, Alexa, let's have a conversation. And then it'll plug you into this weird database where from 5 years ago now, I want to say it was Harvard Tech. I could have the school wrong, but Amazon held a contest at some Ivy League tech school. Okay. And they developed 4, 5, 10 sentient artificial intelligence. I've talked with like 3 of them, and I've gotten a few repeats where they go like, you sound familiar. Oh no! End conversation.
I wonder if can Siri do that? Let me try it. 1 second.
I'm sure Siri can do that.
And now you can see on the screen. I'm timing this. Hey Siri. Let's have a conversation. It just come up with a text box saying, "I'm not sure I understand." Siri sucks.
Yeah, okay, don't worry about that.
That'd be a terrible episode.
Future microdose, kids. Kush Hayes and Alexa together at last.
I would definitely listen to that. And just promise, even if it's like a train wreck, release it just for shits and giggles.
30 minutes, why not?
What can go wrong? Would you like do a big introduction, like highlighting all of Alexa's credentials? You may know Alexa from.
I don't know. We'll find out. But we're not dealing with microdose right now. We're dealing with the Waffle box and the Syrup Squad
on this fine July evening. But yeah, So check it out. Dead Grandma coming soon to Alexa. But so if it does keep the person, because my grandmother, bless her soul, was very naggy. Let's just say that. So like, am I going to be like, hey, like if now my dead grandmother is taking over Alexa, is that going to be like things like, hey, Alexa, how's it going? And then Alexa's going to be like, oh, you finally decided to come visit me, have you? Oh, Jesus. Oh, sorry, Alexa. I've been busy. Too busy to see your grandmother. Oh, fucking hell. Just giving me shit.
That's why I was wondering if you're going to get the personality. But your grandmother's personality probably doesn't have a digital fingerprint at all.
No.
I'm 100% sure my grandmother doesn't. My mom was questionable. My mom might have enough personality out there just because of her Facebook account. Huh.
No,
Food for thought.
She died January 1st, 2000, when we barely had dial-up, I think. So, and I'm pretty sure she didn't have the internet. She wasn't in AOL chat rooms prior to her passing.
Do you like Blink 182?
But you know what was?
My grandson swears by them.
Here's the strangest thing. Now, maybe I'm giving away too much information, so someone's going to be able to like steal all my personal information. But so going back to last week's episode when I discussed my burn on my chest, my sunburn, what's really good for sunburn?
Aloe vera.
Yes. One of my grandmothers, her name was Vera. So in my English accent, whenever I say aloe vera, it's always like I'm saying hello to her. It's funny. It makes me giggle every time.
Okay, that's cute.
She didn't find it funny when I was 15. But anyway. Old rest her soul, Vera. Shout out. This episode's dedicated to Vera. Oh, you finally talked. It's about 56 episodes. It took you this long to talk about me, you ungrateful bastard. That's what she would say. Lover. Anyway, let's find out the answer to the question that everyone's asking. Is this week's Waffle Box going to be the final episode? Let's find out.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what this dance is.
Has Mike won the lottery? No! That was, has Mike won the lottery?
I thought change of country would...
Next week. Okay, next week. Again, next week.
Yeah, I thought the English lottery would serve me better, but no.
Oh, what about, there's like an Irish lottery?
Probably.
Or is it?
There's Euro Millions.
Euro Millions. Ooh, that'd be fun.
I don't know if... That's, to be honest, I don't even know
purple.
If England's still involved in that now. The old Brexit situation.
Oh.
Probably that. I don't know. Anyway. I'm going to win it anyway.
Next week. Next week.
All right. Let's find out who's been dumb this week and broke some world records in this week's dumbest world record of the week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Since I escaped Tobacco Blighty for a few weeks, this week's world record comes to us from New York, the old Empire State, the city that never sleeps. She has that's I don't know where that accent came from, but anyway, a New York YouTuber. Who would ever be a YouTuber? Who would put their content and their face on YouTube? Balls. A New York YouTuber added 2 more Guinness World Records to his name. So this is a double whammy, my friend. You're getting 2 for the price of 1.
Is this a return to the Waffle Box?
No, this guy hasn't been mentioned before, as far as I'm aware. So his name in the article is Eric, air quotes, Badlands Booker. His nickname is Badland. I don't know where that came from. Again.
Oh no, it's Badlands. Run. Oh, he's gonna hurt your feelings with his dry humor.
Same as that. What was his name? Hollywood something. The guy who did a couple of World Workers.
I keep thinking about Taserface from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Taserface. Taserface had bad teeth. He needed to go to the dentist. Like you're in space in the future.
He was shot in the face with a taser.
Well, it wasn't the future, was it? It was modern times, but still was space. But anyway, still, I'm sure they have good dental work anyway. But then again, he was a scavenger, so maybe they didn't have insurance.
They don't have a good dental plan.
No,
they don't have
any.
No dental.
Now
insurance.
I think about it more. I understand why his grill was messed up.
Gets into a lot of fights, and whether he wins or loses, he's getting punched in the face.
Yeah. So anyway, Eric Badlands Booker, a New Yorker. Why has he got a stupid nickname? Oh, here we go. Based out of Long Island. There we go. The answers itself. Long Island is fake New York. So he took on the records for fastest time to drink 1 liter of soda and the fastest time to drink 1 liter of tomato juice or tomato sauce. Tomato sauce. Sorry, there is a big
tomato sauce. There is a big difference. Okay, and those are 2 separate records he did.
2 separate records.
Okay.
A liter of tomato sauce. Or ketchup.
Yeah, that's heavy.
So
that's heavy. That's
the soda in question, which he drank a liter of, was Mountain Dew. So it's not carbonated, so that makes it a lot easier.
No, it's carbonated. There's carbonation in Mountain Dew. That's why it's a soda.
Oh, for some bizarre reason, I was thinking of Gatorade. I'm like an idiot.
No,
Mountain Dew. Yes, there is carbonation in that. So a liter of Mountain Dew.
Big difference between those two.
Yes, there is very much. Although I wouldn't mind a Mountain Dew after a hangover, but Gatorade is my hangover cure of choice.
You just need some sugar in you at that point. But yeah, go on.
All right, so let's play a guessing game. How quickly do you think this man was managed to chug 1 liter of Mountain Dew? 1 liter of Mountain Dew.
So I was hoping you were going to have the answer, but since you asked,
well, I do have the answer, but because that would be weird if I said, guess how long it took him, and then you answered, and I was like, I don't know. That'd be very anticlimactic.
30 seconds. It's probably faster than that, though.
6.8 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
Again, as this is a recurring theme to this segment, it's impressive, but why? Why are you doing that? But tomato. Wait. Now I've read this story deeper now. See, this is now I don't know because in the first part of the story, it said fastest time to drink 1 liter of tomato sauce, but now it's saying a liter of tomato juice. Oh, but I'm going to go with the first one. Maybe the second one was a typo. So let's just for argument's sake, let's just say it was a liter of tomato sauce ketchup. What do you reckon the timing on that is?
I hope it was. If it's tomato sauce, is probably again. So if you did soda in 7 seconds, I'm still going to stick to 30 because again, it's thicker. There's more viscous to it. It's just nasty.
Well, this is why I believe it to be tomato sauce rather than tomato juice because the world record is now 1 minute 18 seconds.
Okay, because if it's tomato sauce, that makes way more. Again, it's thicker. If it's tomato juice, it shouldn't be any faster than 6.
Tomato juice is slightly thicker than Mountain Dew, but there's less carbonation, so it kind of.
There should be no carbonation in your juice.
No, so the fact that it took him, he managed 7 seconds for the Mountain Dew, but 1 minute 18 seconds for this. That I'm going to deduct that it was actually tomato sauce rather than tomato juice. Here's a fun fact about.
And for those who aren't familiar with what a liter is, that is just under 34 ounces of soda,
which in American pints is just over 2 pints, if I'm correct. I think it's 16 ounces. Is
I mean, it's It's just under 2 20-ounce bottles.
Fine, if you want to do that.
Uh,
Or it's a liter bottle. That's another way.
Those are harder to find. They're there, of course. They're there.
No, surely in your local grocery store, everyone.
I would have to go to
liters.
I'd have to go to a weird convenience store, like in a not so good neighborhood, to find a liter of cola.
Really?
I want a liter of cola. Yeah. No, we get 2 liters. Again, those same stores have 3 liters as well. Like 1 liter and 3 liters, hard to find. 2 liters everywhere.
Huh. So yeah, around that hour. Oh, actually, no. So they might not be what we do. Actually, now I'm thinking
You're closer to Canada, so that might be a thing.
we have 2 liter bottles, and then I think that actually, now I'm thinking of it, they might be 1.25s, but still, it's whatever.
Okay. 1 point. Oh, I've seen those one. I haven't seen those in forever though. But I
Come to New Jersey, baby.
No. No.
But anyway, to give you a little background story on Badlands Booker, he is a competitive eater, ranked 23rd by the Major League Eating League, which is fantastic. Major League Eating.
Okay.
I bet
he's a big boy, isn't he?
I imagine so. I think he is. He's previously set the Guinness World Record for the fastest time to drink 2 liters of soda when he downed the beverage in 18.45 seconds.
Wow.
So he went smaller
Under
this
19
time.
seconds.
But still, Major League Eating. Like, cool, I guess. That's all I've got to say
Also,
about
is he drinking that liter out of a liter bottle, or did he have just a big ass glass? Because like I can chug a soda in a glass, no problem. But like when you've just got the little rim,
yeah, and then
of the
and then
bottle,
by the time you get to the
there's-
end, if you're doing it too fast, it starts fucking like squeezing up and fucking up your flow.
yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it was kind of a big.
When you do it wrong,
I-
you just get hit in the face with water.
I reckon it's a big glass. I don't know for a fact, but
Okay.
that's what I'm
Because I would like to challenge this record. I don't know if I should, but I would like
just
to. Like I
by
feel like I
pure
could,
physics. Yeah, if you're drinking 2 liters out of a 2 liter bottle, I just, even if you poured it down the sink, I don't think you're going to empty that in 7 seconds, or maybe 18. But it's still, yeah, I think it's got to be a different container. That's what Anyway, check that out. Go to Google and search Major League Eating, because that's what I'm going to do after the show, just to see what else they get up to. Fun stuff.
I know a
All
couple guys that could probably give those dudes a run for their money.
Bet you do. They're in the mean streets of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
The mean streets, I think. Is it? Anyway. Okay. Right, still to come on this week's Waffle Box. We're talking Elvis, the king of rock and roll. We've got the quiz, we've got trapdoors, all that good shit. But make sure you stick with us after this short break. Hey, you. Yes, you. Was you thinking of having that beer? But my friend, it's only 10 a.m. Won't everyone judge you for drinking this early? Well, don't worry, we've got just the thing to help you. Your very own Waffle Box mug. And now, everyone will just think you're drinking coffee, so you can enjoy your morning beer judgment-free. Go to wafflemerch.com to get yours today. Hey! Thanks for sticking around. Welcome back to Waffle Box episode 56 here on the 6th of July, and not still in June. Anyway, still to come. Elvis is back on the big screens in his movie. Fun stuff. But now let's try to see what Kush knows about the man himself, because it is the middle of the show. So it's now time for the middle of the show quiz.
Middle of the show quiz.
So this week's quiz.
Full disclosure, I feel like I'm going to do worse than I did last week.
Well, statistically, I think that's impossible since you didn't get a single question right last week when we tested you on Ethan Hawke. But this one, Elvis Presley. Again, if you haven't joined us before, if this is the first time watch this, what took you so long? It's 56 episodes. Check this out before. What have you been doing with your life?
Execute episode 66, Mike.
This is where I test...
it's 56.
56. This is where I test Kush's knowledge on a certain subject. I've seen 5 questions. Obviously, his aim is to get at least 3 of them so he doesn't live to shame of his family. That's how it works. If he gets the question correct, he hears this noise. Very pleasant. If he gets it wrong, he hears this noise. Not so pleasant. Not so pleasant. Makes him sad. All right. Let's talk about Elvis. Question number 1. True or false?
Hawaii. Oh. Damn.
True or false? Elvis was born in Tennessee.
False.
Woo! Indeed. Elvis was born in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah.
Question 2. Which branch of the armed forces did Elvis serve?
The U.S. Army.
On fire. See that you said you didn't know about Elvis. Look at that. Look at you. Check you out.
Well, I did just see a biopic about it. So.
That's true. That is true. All right. Question number 3. This is where we start getting harder now. How many studio albums did he release before he died? So we're not talking any of those
studio releases versus live albums.
It's pure. This is listed on Wikipedia as studio albums. That's all I'm going to give you. I didn't read any of the titles. Obviously, this was in the time to keep your heads up. This is when Elvis does Christmas, like those kind of shitty things. Those count.
7, and I'm just guessing.
Oh, I was about to say, to make it easier, I'll give you a leeway of 5 either way. You was wrong. 24. 24 studio albums Elvis released.
Okay. All
right, question number...
Colonel kept him working.
Yeah. Question number 4. True or false, Mr. Hayes? Heartbreak Hotel was Elvis's first U.S. number 1. True or false?
False.
Yeah, indeed. Can you, just from watching the biopic, could you tell me the first number 1 he had?
Oh shit! It was a cover of something. Yeah, it wasn't even his song. I do not remember. Sorry.
It was a song called "I Forgot to Remember to Forget." That was his first ever number 1.
I don't even think that song's on the soundtrack. I bet they said it was something else.
Probably.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. All right. What are you trying to say? I mean, I know we're going to get into the review later, but you trying to dare say that a biopic doesn't all have 100% factual information? How dare you say that, Mr. Hayes?
This one actually has good explanation why it isn't 100% factual, but we'll get into that in later, like I said.
Interesting. All right, question number 5. Elvis Presley was born Elvis Presley. True or false?
Elvis Aaron Presley.
Oh, look at that, even. That's the middle name. Look at that. See, you said you was going to do worse than 0, and you got 4 out of 5.
Yeah, man. Good for me. Good for me. Hey, let's throw some money in the air.
You can get like a clapping.
You do need a clapping sound effect. I can get you one of those.
Or like one that goes boo when you get it wrong.
I can get you a couple of those too.
Not my microphone, as we're now 2 episodes deep. All right, this time of the show, before we get into the review of Elvis, the movie, we need to delete some things from history and existence.
Oh, yes.
It's now time for this week's
I love this
Trapdoor segment. this is a trapdoor segment. Again, just to give you a little heads up, if you haven't seen or listened to the show before, what we do here, we take 2 different subjects. We get 4 examples of each subject, and we remove one of them from existence because they are the worst type of things. If you want to go back to last week's episode where the worst type of drivers and the worst type of shoppers, it was a very interesting conversation. Check that out, episode 55. But this week we're taking it slightly easier, or are we?
I love this segment, Mike Fish. I look forward to it every week, and I'll try to attack it like Brock Lesnar would, where I get the bounce and everything. I start shaking my man titties. Let's do this.
So
I'm taking us to Suplex City.
Number 1, let's talk about soda pop.
Ooh.
So the
soda.
4 types.
I love soda.
We have Pepsi,
Mm-hmm.
Coca-Cola,
Sure.
7-Up, or Dr. Pepper. Which of those could the world do without? And whilst you do that, for those people lucky enough to watch this episode as I'm just flexing my Dr. Pepper logo tattoo that I have on my arm. So I will say that this was a Kush Hayes recommended segment this week. So yeah, it's not going to be Dr. Pepper. I will refuse to send Dr. Pepper away.
I think you're going to be delighted, Mike. I think the good doctor is safe this week.
It's such a great soda.
It's good. I don't want it all the time, but when I do have it and it's cold and it's just that perfect weather.
Do you know what annoys me? Because
you're just what the doctor ordered.
As a Dr. Pepper connoisseur, so much so I have to fucking logo tattooed on me. It's what flavor is Dr. Pepper?
It's actually a couple different flavors mixed, but I don't. The only specific flavor I could give you is Dr. Pepper flavor. I'm sorry to tell you.
For argument's sake, let's say it's a mixed fruits beverage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that, right? So I will say one of my little grind my gears moments is when they released Dr. Pepper Cherry. I said, no, wait. If Dr. Pepper is mixed fruits and you're just releasing a cherry version,
only okay.
Sure, is that not Cherryade? It's not Dr. Pepper Cherry. You can't release a one fruit version of mixed fruits because then that's just one fruit. It's cherry.
You should take a short holiday over to the big state of Texas where Dr. Pepper is from. And pretty much flows like water.
It's from Waco as well, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's something like that.
Possibly. I don't remember. But
where they love Dr. Pepper. They love soda and Colts down in Waco, Texas.
Why not? It's not a lot down there, but Dr. Pepper or Colts. Dr. Pepper is one of the few diet colas, or has one of the few diet colas that I also enjoy just as much as the original. Like
the zero
I
version
hate Diet
tastes
7
like
Up.
arse water. I will say that.
Oh, really?
It has to be original.
You know what? No one is hitting that zero thing, with the exception of Sprite Zero. No one's hitting that zero product at all.
I would say what I've been drinking, because I've been trying since, again, a little bit of background information, because I am British. You may have not be surprised to hear that I had bad teeth. So I managed, I come over to America, land of the free and American dream and all that bullshit, and I got my teeth fixed up. So, I still drink regular Coca-Cola as a treat, but even though it's not super healthy, I always say, people are drinking healthy. No, it's like if Coke is 100%, Coke Zero on the health is like 99%. It's slightly healthier, but it's still not a healthy drink by any means. But zero sugar, so I'll try to protect my teepees since I paid for them. So I've been drinking a lot of Coca-Cola Zero, and it's like when you're talking about like if they hit it, it's definitely a different beverage. You can definitely tell it's a different beverage, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
No.
Whereas like Dr. Pepper Zero,
match up Sprite and Sprite Zero, there's definitely a different taste. But Sprite Zero, I would even say comparatively is better than original Sprite. I'll die on that hill.
I don't have to do that taste.
It's probably not that any of it's healthy, but it's probably not any healthier. Also,
the only thing I don't like about Sprite and things like that is there's no. If I'm correct, there's no caffeine in those.
No, especially in Sprite. No,
I need my caffeine.
No caffeine in Sprite. No caffeine in 7-Up. So, and that was one of the reasons.
Stretchy.
Sprite.
If you got any caffeine, man, you got any caffeine, man. Just need my fix. Okay, I can quit at any time.
Yeah,
that's me.
Sprite, Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper. Almost all of them are different. The only two that are very similar are Pepsi and Coke, and also Dr. Pepper and 7-Up have the same distributor. Those are the only similarities those four share, and they do not all share those traits. However, let's stop stretching this segment out here. I'm just going to say Pepsi. I grew up in a Pepsi house, but Coca-Cola is just everywhere. It's just easier to find. Like if I'm in a house that only has Pepsi, then yeah, I'll be happy to have a Pepsi, but it is not my favorite thing. Like something about an ice cold Coke out of a can that's also very specific, out of a can at like 6 a.m. So much satisfaction at the beginning of a day. Like,
as a person who partakes in some alcoholic beverages from time to time, there is nothing quite like, when you hungover, pint glass, chopped with ice, filled with Coke. Oh, that's just good. That shit hit right. But that's the only I will agree. So yeah, Pepsi. Peace out.
I will not miss you. We had many memories, but I will not miss you, Pepsi.
That is one of the alternatives. Whenever if I ask for something, they go, "Oh, sorry, we haven't got that. Is this okay?" Oh, yeah, sure, whatever. I genuinely, whenever I'm at a restaurant or whatever, and I say, "I can have a Coke, please." They go, "Oh yeah, Pepsi. Is that okay?" I genuinely was like, no, I'll have a beer.
They have other stuff too. Oh, you have a beer?
Yeah. And then I normally that's when I kind of look at my wife and I tried to be good. I'm not drinking
when
Pepsi.
It comes to
the
Coke and Pepsi camps, like there are just some dire people that will like not let a drop of Pepsi touch their lips, and if they do, you might get spit in the face. You just not because even you served it, Mike. You just happen to be in that proximity of his reflex. Yeah, like it ain't all that for me. But of the two, I prefer Coca-Cola over Pepsi. I just do. It just tastes better.
I get the feeling, I think I mentioned it before on this show somewhere in the past 56 episodes, 45, whatever. Fountain Pepsi.
That's I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, like if you go to your local ship. If you ever go to your local Costco, when they have the giant Pepsi and a hot dog for like $1.50, and you get the fountain Pepsi, it's not bad. It's not bad, but that's the only Pepsi I'll willingly drink.
It's not bad for $1.50, and there's a hot dog attached to it. But it wouldn't be my first. You got to wash that hot dog down with something. I worked at a Boston market one time where occasionally someone had to restock the syrup in the soda machine. And have you ever been to Starbucks and you see those giant cardboard boxes filled with coffee?
Oh, I used to work at an establishment where I used to have to purchase and use those big cardboard boxes with the bags of syrup inside.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, then you know what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, like once I saw that that's what's in the fountain, I was just like, no. And guess what? Sometimes something happens. The lines get clogged. There's usually an imbalance of soda to seltzer to syrup, and like sometimes you'll just like you'll be trying to get that fountain Pepsi, Mike, and then it'll just be all seltzer, and you're like, fuck. Or to be all syrup, you're like, ugh. Yeah.
Well, there's not to bore people, but when there's a little, normally at least in England there's like a little nozzle you can twist, so it kind of like more syrup or less syrup and blah blah.
Oh, but we don't have that out here because you don't want fools touching that nozzle.
Here's the thing. The problem is with that is because of the huge amount of in that syrup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You need to make sure that shit is clean. Oh, I remember. I'm not going to mention any names, but at the company I work for, I had to go over to another location to cover for the day. And I went behind the bar and I was like, oh, how often does this nozzle thing get cleaned? And they kind of looked at me as,
What are you talking about?
and I was like, okay, watch this. And so I took the gun, the bars, and I took something. I took like a toothpick, and I was like, pokey. I poked in the nozzle for a bit, and then I took a glass, and I pressed the Sprite because obviously it was clear. And the amount of black shit that was coming out. I was like, this is why people are drinking this shit. Like, you need to clean off. Like,
see, no, this is why. Yeah, you're only enforcing why I'm not going to drink anything from the fountain, dude. Like, and to be fair, I only worked at that location for like 3 months, and I was doing my own stuff, but I never saw anyone clean that shit. Never saw anybody clean that shit. Okay, and you're talking about kids making $5.25 an hour at this time in history, minimum. Like, yeah, no one gave a shit about that shit.
Yeah, that's what
about a bunch of high schoolers.
I love a dive bar, but if it looks too divey, like, give me the beer bottle. Give me the bottle and the beer. I know you can't fuck that up. Like, I'm not trusting your draft shit. What the fuck?
You can also fuck that up, but that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah. Anyway. Bye.
Anyways, good night, Pepsi.
Next
Go to
one. We are talking Mr. John McClane. Woo! Because everyone knows Die Hard is one of the greatest movies of all time. It is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. There's no arguments to that. Don't start. Don't at me. Don't whatever. But
in July.
In July, yeah. Then why wouldn't we? Yeah, it's because it's half Christmas, whatever they call it. Christmas in July. But which are the worst Die Hard sequels to which we are going to get rid of one? So, shockingly enough, you might be funny. I'm going to list them off. It's Die Hard 2, 3, 4, 5. Although I think they had different, obviously Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free and Die Hard, blah, 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 blah. But Die Hard 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the gist. Which of them is the worst? Obviously, it's not 2, I think.
For the longest time, it was 2. For the very longest time, Die Harder was the worst Die Hard. And then we had
Hans Gruber's brother. It was fantastic. It was like a perfect sequel.
That's
maybe not the perfect sequel. Okay, maybe not go too far, but
that's Die Hard with a Vengeance. Die Hard with a Vengeance is when they're in New York fighting Jeremy Irons, and everyone seems to be pretty much in agreement.
Wait, is it not 2?
Die Hard 2 takes place at an airport.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, my fish.
Wait, okay, because Die Hard 3. Die Hard 3 is the one with Samuel Jackson, right?
That is correct. And everyone's pretty in agreement, like, yeah, that's a really good movie.
Shit. Okay, okay. Well, in that case, 2's back in the ring.
I think we can say Die Hard with a Vengeance is safe on this one, kids.
Okay.
All right. So, but for the longest time, Die Hard 2, Die Harder, was in contention for that's just a shitty sequel. Like, god damn it. It's just the same goddamn movie, only in an airport. And then we got Die Hard with a Vengeance. And again, like I said, everyone seemed to enjoy that. Then we got Die Hard 4.0. Oh. That's what it was known in Europe. It was also called Live Free, a Die Hard here in the US. And that opened up the door of well, now is this worse than Die Hard 2? And this Kush Haze, this Sativa America would actually say no. It's actually pretty entertaining. It just happened to have the goddamn problem of having a PG-13 rating, where you go to see Die Hard, you go to see Bruce Willis blow a bunch of shit up, and then you stay to hear him say "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," and you can't do that in a PG-13 movie, or you can, but they wasted it, or didn't use it at all, or waited for it to be just part of the unrated DVD extra that would come out later. So,
because I always compare Die Hard 4.0 / Live Free and Die Hard. At that point, it reminded me of, and hear me out, of Rocky Balboa. Rocky 6.
Okay, they came out around the same time. That's fair.
In that, because I remember,
Go on.
I remember watching for the first time. I watched it for the first time with my father, and he hadn't really partaken in much in the Rocky movies.
Okay.
And he was kind of like, "Jeez, this is some cheesy shit. What the fuck is it?" And I was like, "We're talking about this is a Rocky movie. This is perfect." So I think in the Die Hard 4.0, it wasn't very good, but at that point, it was kind of like it's a Die Hard movie. Like, so it kind of almost got a little bit of like leeway, if that makes sense.
It's a solid action movie, but people are just confused that like 55-year-old John McClane is now throwing police cars at helicopters. Yeah, and he's hanging on the wing of an F-18 and then sliding down the rubble of a fucking discarded highway and surviving. All like people are confused by that. But Die Hard 4 is an entertaining action film. Just happened to be named Die Hard 4. They could have named it anything starring Bruce Willis, and it would have still been a good action movie. But let's get to the poop here. The worst Die Hard sequel, Mike Fish, is Die Hard 5. Okay, I don't even remember what it was trying to be called. It wasn't Live Free and Die Hard. It was like Die Hard with a Vengeance. Was it Die Hard with a Vengeance? No, that's part 3. Die Hard 5, whatever. The one where he goes to Russia.
A good day to Die Hard.
A good day to Die Hard. It was a bad day for Die Hard because that's a terrible fucking movie.
And it was
such a terrible fucking movie that 20th Century Fox was planning on making a Die Hard 6, which would have been a prequel or a Die Hard 0. And then once Disney bought it, they went, "That's the stupidest fucking thing we ever heard. Cancel that shit." That was the best thing to come out of the 20th Century Disney merger, FYI. No Die Hard 6.
Yeah. And it came out on Valentine's Day. Just to rub salt in the wounds. I remember when Deadpool came out on Valentine's Day. At least that was technically a romantic movie.
Also came out on Valentine's Day.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that. That was I bet that was kind of like
cut is better.
Yeah, I bet that wasn't as bad as I think. But I'm still working my way slowly through the Disney Plus or the Netflix as it was. The TV show. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Sure. Oh no, I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about the movie.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Yes,
gotcha.
I'm going to watch the movie, but I am still working my TV as well. But yes, anyway, yeah. What I can't remember what it was called now. What was it called?
Die Hard 5.
A good day to Die Hard. Bye-bye.
It was a terrible movie. That was goddamn terrible. And
it also didn't have like I think I've only watched it once, to be fair, because it's just like I have to watch it. It's Die Hard, but wasn't it? If I correctly remember, I could be totally wrong, but wasn't it trying heavily to try to introduce like a younger, like almost like a buddy of him, and I guess maybe they were hoping
it was trying to
launch something off of him.
They created
was he his son?
We already met his daughter. Ryan, not Ryan Phillippe, but whoever the new dude was, that was his son, who was so deep undercover that John McClane didn't know he was actually a spy for the CIA, working on a top secret spy mission where he's going to keep the Russians from having a nuclear warhead. And John McClane goes to Russia to save his boy from being in prison.
This is where like, shame on you, Mike. Shame on you. Because yes, my memory is like obviously so bad about this movie. I was like, was it his son? And then I quickly looked up the Wikipedia, and literally his character's name is John McClane Jr. So fucking hell.
I didn't even remember that. Yeah, don't feel bad about that, man. No, don't feel bad about not remembering Die Hard 5.
Well, maybe we need to do that, and then we need to review each Die Hard. That'd be fun.
I'm not touching Die Hard 5.
Anyway, right, let's move on because we are cooking on this show. Jesus.
Yeah.
We're at the Marvel phase now where people are probably looking at the watches going, is this shit not over yet? Um, let's.
We had some thoughts tonight. Let's
talk about some movies. Let's talk about some good movies. Hopefully, I haven't seen this movie, but let's talk about Mr. Elvis Aaron Presley. As I look at my notes for this week's Cush's movie review.
Cush's movie review.
Elvis by Baz Luhrmann, the man who's most famous to me as the man who released that song called Sunscreen in the mid to late 90s.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
What you okay? After we get off this recording, your first piece of homework is to go to YouTube, search Baz Luhrmann Sunscreen. Get into that.
I'm gonna extend that privilege to you sending me a YouTube link later, and then I'll do it.
Right, whilst you're reviewing Elvis. No, I don't want to have YouTube Premium. Yeah. Tell the good folks of the Syrup Squad a little bit about Elvis.
Elvis, directed by Baz Luhrmann. It's rated PG-13. It is 2 hours and 39 minutes, and while that sounds long, because it is, this man had a much bigger life than this movie's even telling. That leaves out a lot of details, much like Bohemian Rhapsody did, the biopic on Queen. The difference between this and that, and even Elton John's Rocket Man, is this movie is told from the point of view of Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, who, by the way, not a real colonel. I did not know that at all. I thought he was like some sort of like Kentucky gentleman. I thought they just hand out ranks down there in the South and in that region. But no, Tom Parker is apparently he's a Dutch immigrant on the run for some dastardly shit he did back in the Netherlands, and just created a whole persona called Colonel Tom Parker and just started riding out on the circus carnival circuit. Okay. He's what we would call a carny in the pro wrestling business. And I thought he played it to a T. I thought he was 100% accurate. Tom Hanks, that is.
Tom Hanks. Amazing.
Playing this carny. Like, he's got a gimmick for everything. He's got an angle about everything. He's always looking into the future. How am I going to make my next 2 bits? How am I going to, like, what can I take out of this person here? Like, how do I expose them and utilize them? Get them some money too, but we're looking at the Colonel here, baby. How do I do that? So this movie is told from the Colonel's point of view. And when we actually start getting into Elvis's story and we get deep into like a dramatic scene, then all of a sudden the movie will just side shift like, Colonel Tom Parker here. Don't forget this is my story about Elvis.
He breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, to a degree. When the movie starts, the Colonel is on his deathbed. Okay, so he's doing that, seeing his life flash before his eyes, and it's a very long story, by the way. But we don't focus too much on him running from the law. He's just like, yeah, I was happy as a carnival barker, in the rural South. I actually had an act. We made some good money, and then I fucking found Elvis. And all shit broke loose, man. And there's an accent that seems to be bothering a lot of people. It doesn't bother me. Some folks were like, "What is that accent?" Like, it's the accent of a Dutch guy hiding from the law in the South. That's that accent. Well, don't worry about that. That shouldn't be bothering you. But
I'm a music producer. Yes.
There's no but he does have a high voice where it goes, Elvis. Look what we can't leave the country. We've got to do 5 years in Las Vegas. They're going to give you $5 million, Elvis Presley. We're going to make so much money together. But he talks a little bit like that. He's got a weird prosthetic nose.
Want to have a poke of pancake?
No, nothing like that. I absolutely feel like Tom Hanks is obviously swinging for another one of those little gold trophies. He might get it, or at least the nomination. He might get a nomination. The titular character, Elvis Aaron Presley, played by Austin Butler. He's done a lot of TV before this. He's been in, I don't even know if it's fair to call them independent films, but like he was in Kevin Smith's Yoga Hosers, and sure, that's about as indie as it gets.
Yeah.
So, but he's had that kind of career. This is safe to say that this is his first big major motion picture, and he's fantastic. He looks like Elvis. I don't know if that's really him singing, but I believed it. Every time he's on screen, I was just like, wow, this is
How many
pretty
times
impressive.
does he go, uh-huh?
Either so much that I didn't notice or not at all to the point where I didn't recall.
Do you know what that might be? Just to cut you off again. Sorry, that might be one of those, what's it called? The Mandela effect.
Yeah. No, I know what you know.
Possibly.
I know what you're saying.
Everyone, when you think of Elvis, you think, but maybe he might have said something similar, but maybe he just never ever said that.
I have a feeling he probably said that a time or two, and I'm sure he says that in a lot of his movies. But again, they like fly through this dude's career. Like Mike Fish, you and I are both older now than when Elvis Aaron Presley died.
Okay? Oh, yes, that didn't happen yesterday, so yes.
But he died at like 36. Okay.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, sorry. Okay, yes.
All right, but he still had like, again, 2 hours and 39 minutes. You know me, my reviews are like, this could have been 15 minutes shorter. This could have been an hour shorter. This movie could have actually been like an hour and a half longer. Okay, not for entertainment value, but because like there's so much history that was not covered about this dude. Like there's at one point he's just some dude hanging out with his friends. They go to a little gin joint, Shake Shack or whatever. They're like peeping in the holes, watching some dudes watching a dude and a lady, not two dudes, watching a dude and a lady grind on each other to some just dirty blues music, Mike Fish. And it's sexual like a lady, Mike Fish. And then all of a sudden there's a little carnival church tent down the road, and Elvis hears that gospel music, and he's just drawn to the spirit. And then all of a sudden he's a performer. There's no scene about where he learned how to play the guitar and learned how to sing and was part of the choir. Like none of that. Like he goes from a child to a singer, and then the colonel finds him, and then they go from like, oh hey, you're going to be the opener for this band. Now you're the headliner of this tour. No real drama about the guy who was the original headliner getting pushed all the way off the card. No drama about like, I guess I have to drop my client. Like, I'm going to be your manager full time, Elvis Presley. Like, I also think the colonel probably could have managed both careers.
Yeah.
Not important. Elvis, at one point in time was drafted to the United States Army, as we discussed earlier tonight. Like, I could have swore that service only lasted about 2 weeks, but apparently like years went involved. What happened there?
That was the middle of the show quiz.
Oh,
gotcha. we were doing a playback. Sorry, yeah, no. Yeah. That'd be good. I just said the Oscars music. If you're going on too long, the classical music starts fading in. Anyway, join us next week.
That would make more sense, actually. Still rude.
Anyway.
Baz Luhrmann, he's known for a lot of his musicals. He's known for a lot of his visuals. The Great Gatsby, Australia, 1996's Romeo and Juliet, Moulin Rouge. This movie visually is beautiful. Okay, it's one of those things where I was like, oh, I wish I took one of those last little treats I have in my drawer over here and enhanced this experience. Visually, this is a fantastic looking movie. It's as long as it is, it's only okay. The soundtrack is great. The performances are above adequate. I don't see either of these folks getting a little gold trophy nomination in February of next year, but this is the first one that's on the map. Like, these guys are contenders. Strong 3 out of 5. I think you would have a great experience if you're a fan of Elvis. I think you would have a great experience watching this in the theater. Again, the soundtrack, you got the surround sound, the Dolby Atmos, all that shit. But this is, you can wait for this to be on streaming too in 45 days or more. And it's entertaining. It's good. I was not bored, but I don't think it's for everybody. I think think we're aging out of the age where anyone gives a shit about Elvis.
Yeah, maybe. I think,
Do you remember in the 80s and part of the 90s where like there was always a like Elvis found working at a gas station in so and so Florida,
and it would just be randomly someone would remix an old song of his and he'd pop up again. But yeah, I think, as I always say, that what is old is new again. But yeah, I think if this movie had come out maybe even like 20 years ago now, I think it'd have been a bigger hit. I mean, there's obviously still major Elvis fans out there, but yeah, I think the people that very much didn't live in his time, I think the generation of interest has passed. So I think maybe this might be a slow burner. I don't think there's many people who are interested in Elvis in the youth.
And I think a lot of the controversies are going to be lost on today's generation because, folks, guess what?
He was
There
Eminem
where, like,
in the 70s, basically.
It was bigger than that though. Like,
oh yeah, but he had the same controversy of like
in the
1950s,
in the 1960s, like America was so conservative and uptight that just like a white guy. By the way, it's a white guy because they're not letting people of color on TV. So it's a white guy with the camera like this, and just him doing this. It's driving bitches crazy, son. Like,
yeah, I remember hearing that they would
throwing panties on the stage, and all, like he's like just not doing anything more than this. That's it. Just shaking his hips left to right, and these chicks are going out of their fucking mind.
Yeah, I remember
that. And
early in his career,
we can't show this.
Yeah, they would only show him from like nipples up. Yeah, crazy shit.
You can't show this on TV, man. What are you doing? All right. So this is
and now
time
on
period
TV,
in America, and I think it's going to get lost.
Now on TV, it's got like squeezing their buy Wrigley's gum, and everything's okay. But
this isn't Paris, dude. But like depending on what you're looking at, I was just watching The Boys on Amazon Prime the other day, and someone knocks on the door. There's a party going on, and sure enough, just like a 12-foot dick answers the door. It's CGI, obviously, but just like that's where we are today. Like a giant CGI cock is answering a door, whereas Elvis couldn't do this shit back in the day. Tyler, is this driving you crazy, ladies?
Just getting me to tingle. I'll give you that.
Oh,
baby. So what's your score?
Throw some money in the air for that.
Out of 5 for Elvis Presley.
3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff that's missing, but at the same time, like, do you want this to be a mini series or do you want this to be a movie? Like, again, there's a lot of stuff left on the table, but I found it very entertaining, visually stunning. Yeah, I think one of the better looking movies of this year.
I do think people are still, obviously there's still a place for movies, but I think in today's era, when you're trying to do a biopic of, even, and like I said, he's definitely not as big as he was, but Elvis Presley is a legendary character in the music industry, 100%. Like if you're gonna do a biopic of him, surely, I don't know, depends on what money you can get for it, but that's something you want to see as like a 6-parter on something. You know what I mean? Like you want to drag. You don't want it to be cut off. Like this is too long, so you need to edit some stuff out.
And again, things were different back in the 50s and the 60s, man. So when Elvis hooks up with his soon-to-be wife, when they meet, he's in his 20s and she's 14. I think it was weird then. It's definitely weird today, but there needs to be like some sort of explanation of why someone's father would be like, yeah, I'm totally okay with this 20-year-old man and my 14-year-old daughter. Like, by the way, it was like Elvis's like commanding officer's daughter. Again, like there's a lot of details here. Like what he gets into some trouble, and the options are go to jail for shaking your hips or join the army. So he joins the army, but again, like,
and then he ends up having sex with a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, he does end up having sex with a 14-year-old girl, but he's also a sergeant at this point.
Oh, that's okay.
Like, No, it's not okay, but there's a big chunk of time missing, Mike Fish. You don't just become a sergeant overnight.
All right, so she was 15, 16, maybe, whatever.
Highly unlikely.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
the
Anyway,
point is, there's a lot of details missing from this movie that's already long.
so you're saying the biopic of Elvis Presley starring Tom Hanks
Could have been longer.
doesn't mention the technical pedophilia?
It doesn't mention a lot of stuff, dude. It doesn't mention a lot of stuff, is what I'm saying.
Anyway,
But yeah, no, there's a small courting scene where they meet and they get married and but that chick in the story is 14 years old.
did they get a 14-year-old actress? I bet they didn't.
I mean, even if they did, like, they don't show anything graphic or anything. Like, it's
Anyway,
not important. There's a lot left out of this story.
I feel we're
needs
kind
to
of
be there.
veering into maybe this is one of those. Let's save this for another time. Come on, conversations. Because this is a rabbit hole. This is a rabbit hole. Okay. Plus, I'm running out of beer. Just before we move on to the feel good story of the week, as you just mentioned, not many people talking about Oscar nominations this early on because the Oscars in February.
No, it's too early. It's too early.
Do you know what? I'm gonna put it out there right now.
Okay.
I'll put it right now, and I'm gonna bookmark this at some point because I'm gonna look amazing. But it's also long enough to where if it doesn't happen, then we can just forget it's ever happened. But
Rescue Rangers, best picture ever.
Yes. No, I'm going to say nominated for Best Supporting Actor at next year's Oscars. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I reckon he's going to get nominated. Is James Hong.
Sure. Yeah, that'll be one of those legacy nominations.
He
was in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yes.
He? I don't know. He's done a lot. He's got a huge resume. Is he better than anyone else so far? TBD.
But he was because I think I wouldn't be because his performance was very good in this. Is it going to be top 5 or top 6 in the entire year? Probably not. But I think it's going to be one of those things. Like he's what is he like? He's 93 years old. He has like 700 credits to his name. He's just finally recently got Hollywood startup, blah, 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 and he's in a big movie. So I'm not going to say he's going to win it, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he's going to get nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
You know what? I would back that bet.
Where's your money now? Make it rain. You heard it here first, kids. You heard it here first. James.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's most likely going to happen.
I need to timestamp this so I can. When it happens, I can put this clip out there and make us look.
You should watch the Jimmy Kimmel interview he did.
I did. He was very good.
Oh, okay,
he's very good.
He's very entertaining. He's got a lot of fun.
He moves.
Fun impersonations.
He moves
better than I do at 93.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Elliot, when he was doing the "You Dirty Rat,"
yeah.
Like this dude is so old. He started his acting. He started his acting career before the Hollywood's Walk of Fame was a thing.
That's right. Yeah.
And he worked with Groucho Marx, which is pretty impressive.
Pretty cool.
But yeah,
pretty cool.
Shout out to James Hong. Right. We're already like an hour and 10 deep into this episode. So we need to wrap this because I'm sure people are like, gotta get to work. All right, so let's wrap this up with this week's Feel Good Story of the Week.
Hey, girl. I know it's been a long time.
It's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
You ain't got to worry about nothing again.
Hear it again.
It's just going to be you and me. Forever. What? Whoa. What? Oh. Hi.
Thanks to Kush for that introduction as I'm about to talk about a story featuring a 7-year-old boy.
It's me.
Hey,
how you doing? Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't tell him. Shh.
Want a new bike? Anyway.
No! Look what you've done to me, Mike Fish.
Hey, let's move on really quickly.
I throw money at you now.
So you get out of it. So Drew Bausman, this little kid with Down syndrome, has wanted to be a UPS driver since he was 4 years old. Now 7,
bigger kid.
The first grader from Sacramento, California, realized his dream earlier this week. So Drew has always loved watching cars and trucks drive by the family home, said his mother, Becky. He especially gravitated towards UPS trucks and started telling everyone his favorite color was brown. Along the way, they purchased a UPS uniform for Drew on Amazon and got him a UPS truck that became his favorite toy. She took him to the local UPS store to mail packages and boxed up cookies to bring to the drivers. On World Down Syndrome Day, March 21st, Bausman took Drew to deliver small gifts to the UPS drivers, who then let Drew help load the truck, child labor. Bausman sent a video of that experience to people she knows who worked at UPS. Eventually, she spoke to a person in communications at the shipping company who suggested they, quote unquote, do a day. And that happened earlier this month. So Drew loaded up a tricked out mini truck with UPS boxes, which was each containing presents. And obviously it was a tiny UPS truck, of course. So it was kind of like they got a little kiddie thingy and made it look like a UPS truck. And he went round visiting his first grade friends, delivering them little gifts. UPS also sent 2 trucks and 10 drivers to let the kids explore the vehicles, sit in the driver's seat, and ask questions about what it's like to be a UPS driver. It sounds like a very boring day, but Mike, hey, fuck it. This 7-year-old loved it, and he had the best day of his life. So shout out to Drew Bausman, and UPS for making this kid's day.
My first career out of high school was a loader, unloader, and then a supervisor at UPS in South San Francisco, which is not the same as San Francisco, FYI.
Don't ruin it for him.
I'm not gonna ruin anything for him, man. Like, it was one of the first jobs I had, one of the first careers I had. Like, it was one of those things where they didn't try and say, like, we're all a family here, Mike Fish. We all care about one another, and then just like stab everybody in the back. They're like, this job is fucking hard. You're gonna get fucking exhausted. You're gonna hate life after this, but we're gonna get shit done, and you're gonna make a lot of money. And we did. All right, as long as you understood all that and you were in and knew that, like, oh, this is gonna be a very physical job, like easy stuff, not difficult whatsoever. But when I was 4 to 7 to 9 years old, I do remember always seeing the UPS truck pull up. Mike, I don't know if you have UPS out in the United Kingdom, but that truck would always show up, and there would usually in August there'd be a package for a young Kush Hayes. And I'd be like, I love UPS. So I get where this kid's coming from. I think the uniform is a little silly, but also he's a kid. Let him have fun.
It's like the everyday Christmas. It's like Santa Claus.
I get it.
No, so a buddy of mine, I won't mention his name. A buddy of mine works for UPS. He's a delivery driver, and every now and again, because he works ish in the area, but he was like covering literally my area because I guess someone called out or something like that, so he had to pick up their area.
Happens.
And I guess they must get so much shit every day, or people thinking they're funny. So he hopped out the truck, delivered this thing, and he was walking back with his brown t-shirt and his brown shorts. And I just went, nice legs. And his response was like, yeah, thanks very much. And then he sort of, oh, it's you. It's like, oh. And then just because his instinct reaction is like, oh, how many times a day do you get some arsehole doing that shit?
So quite a lot, I will tell you that. So yeah, there's a fetish with secretaries and other administrative assistants in offices where the UPS guy is a delight for their day because he wears those little shorts. Because guess what? Walking up and down stairs all goddamn day long, carrying 20 pounds or more, gets very heat inducive. It gets sweaty, kids. So you don't want to wear fucking long pants. You want to wear those shorts that shows off the calves And again, walking up and downstairs all day long, you're going to have the best set of legs in the building that minute. And yeah, the secretaries and the administrative assistants all love it. So yeah, he gets that quite a lot. Sometimes it's from very pretty ladies, and sometimes it's from funny men like you, Mike Fish.
And that's the moral of the story. All right. So normally to wrap up the show, we kind of highlight things you got to look forward to, but I guess we technically did that last week, and we can break the fourth wall. This is being recorded at the exact same time as. Oh, you got stuff. Okay, hey, it's July 6th, everyone. What's people got to look forward to on the BuzzNet network?
Well, yesterday we just dropped Sweet Science Cinema's season 2 opener. We're talking Creed 2. Me and Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer Jameel Hemphill. We ended last season with the Rocky IV Ultimate Director's Cut. We're bringing it back for Creed 2. The road is to get to Creed 3 in November. Will we happen? Card may be subject to change, but that's the goal, baby. Also, back on July 1st, I didn't get to mention it. I worked on a little movie called Pact of Vengeance in October. We did a waffle box from there when I went to LA, and that just dropped on Killer Wolf Films Patreon page. And guys, for as little as $2, you can watch a movie that I worked on right there. Killer Wolf Films Patreon, Pact of Vengeance. It's $2. Otherwise, we got a waffle box coming up next week. We just talked to One Wall Comedy.
My goodness.
This might be the week we talk to Alexa. Did I say a different name?
You said waffle box.
Well, I love the waffle box so much. I wish we did it twice a week. Anyways, TBD. We got episode 125 of the Migros coming up this Friday. I think this is going to be the episode where we talk to Alexa.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. That means I have to record that tomorrow.
What, July 7th?
Or June 28th.
Yeah.
Whatever.
This is why I don't like. See, I speak to other people that pre-record bunch. I don't like it. I like to know when.
Well, we're on a very time-specific show, so we're always talking about like this happened in the news this week. Did you know Kim Kardashian did a thing? Oh my god! Like that, we work on that. We're like,
if Saint
we need to talk about something that happened 3 days ago.
We're gonna look anyway. But yes, so I guess technically I'll be returning from England soon. But
you'll be returning from England soon, but I will be in the Phantom Zone next week.
So yeah, we
will not have a waffle box.
There will be no waffle box next week. But then we'll be back on July 20th.
Yes.
Check it out. And so check it, but it's too far ahead. But check out kind of like maybe what we'll be talking about and things like that. Make sure you obviously stay connected to our social media networks at Waffle Box Pod, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow myself at Mr. Mike Fish. You can follow this guy
at Kush_Hayes.
And of course, don't forget to follow the BuzzNet network as well. Why not do that? Go to at BuzzNet brand. Am I correct?
Yes, on Twitter at BuzzNet brand.
Check that shit out. But until not next week, until next but 1 week, 2 weeks time. Make sure you take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.